Welcome to the Intentional Excellence Podcast. I'm your host, Candice Ruggiero. I'm a keynote speaker, host of this podcast, and also host of Love Speaks Live and Love Speaks Out in the community. You're listening to our special series called Build to Build, the CEO series, where we highlight leaders and visionaries who are not only building businesses, but also building impact, influence, and legacies. Tonight, I'm honored to introduce to you a truly inspiring guest, Liz Murray. Liz Murray is a transformational coach dedicated to helping midlife women break free from anxiety, self doubt, and overwhelm so they can step into their most confident, fulfilled selves. With a degree in psychology and as an accredited coach and a counselor, Liz combines coaching, subconscious belief shifting, positive psychology, and mindfulness to take a science backed yet holistic approach to transformation, creating deep and lasting change. Through powerful mindset work, subconscious belief shifting, and practical strategies, she helps women release old patterns, rewire their thinking, and get excited about the future. Her life has taken her across the world, having lived in Hong Kong, Australia, and Dubai, also spending many years working as cabin crew for two major airlines. Since then, she has provided emotional learning support in an educational setting, as well as teaching mindfulness in schools, helping others build emotional resilience. Liz is a self-confessed psychology geek and a firm believer that midlife is just the beginning. And beyond her work, Liz is passionate about gardening and lives in the UK with her husband, teenage daughter, and two sassy chihuahuas, balancing family life with her mission to help women embrace their full potential. She is a motivational speaker and helps clients all over the world through her various coaching programs and is currently and would like to launch her podcast in the future. And I just want to ask you to help me introduce this wonderful person in front of me. We have Liz Murray. Hi, Liz. How are you today?
Hi, Candice. Thank you so much for having me on. I'm
Um,
excited for our chat today.
I know, and I've always loved my guests from the UK. You just have this warm, like really warm heart and warm way of having a conversation, and I truly enjoy having you guys in my show. Um,
Oh,
like I
thank you.
said, my podcast list is global, and I know you're from UK. I just wanted to share with the viewers and my followers that I'm podcasting from the United States, specifically in Florida. And it's supposed to be fall now in Florida, but it's still warm as if it's summer. What about you? How's the weather there in UK at the moment?
Oh, we've definitely stepped into fall
Ah,
or autumn, as we call it here. Yes, we have currently a storm sweeping the UK, so it's very windy and a bit
okay.
rainy, and yeah, so I think we've kind of really been launched into the new season.
I love that because Liz, I used to live in New York for like 20 plus years where the fall foliage is like breathtaking, right? But
Yes.
I now live in Florida. I don't see the same scenery. So
No.
fall for me is like that. Like when I see the changing colors of the trees. And that's one thing I miss. But I'm glad that the weather at least is changing. It's not that hot anymore.
Yes.
Liz, before I begin, while introducing you, there's so many things we have in common. I live in Australia as well. Which
All
part of
right.
which part of Australia did you live?
In Sydney.
Same. Well, I
Yes.
live in New South Wales, which is like 30 to 40 minutes away from Sydney. I was there for 4 years. What about you? How
I
long were
was
you in Sydney?
I was in Sydney for a year, mostly,
Okay.
well, the best part of a year.
Isn't
So
it?
went there when I was very, very young, straight out of uni, and decided that I was going to go and travel the world, and absolutely loved it. I have to say, it's the most beautiful part of the world.
And Hong Kong, that's my shopping country. I love going to Hong Kong. That's just to shop, right? And they have
Yeah.
such beautiful sceneries, like the big Buddha when you have to
Hmm.
like climb up, and like the beautiful Victoria Peaks.
Yes.
Ah, So
It's
beautiful.
it is. It's so unique, Hong Kong. I remember the first time I ever went there, and I took a boat over the harbour, and
I
I
know, I
remember
didn't do
just
that.
sitting there in awe because it really is quite unique.
It's beautiful.
It's magical. Yeah.
And the culture, the food, the friendly atmosphere. And don't get me with the shopping. The
Yes.
shopping.
Yes.
And,
Absolutely. Yeah.
and, and one more commonality, Dubai. I've also been in Dubai where it's a very different lifestyle that I experienced there. I didn't live there. I was just there on vacation. Another yet beautiful country. I drove from Abu Dhabi to Dubai, and
Oh,
it's such a
right.
beautiful experience. How was yours?
Oh, yeah, amazing. I mean, it really was. I was actually in Dubai when things were changing very rapidly in the
Okay.
90s when that it was being built um,
Oh,
from when I first arrived. Where I lived was just like sand everywhere. By the time I left 4 years later, it
oh,
was completely built up.
developed.
It happened almost overnight. It was a very exciting time to be in Dubai, and yeah, I loved it.
Did you go? Did you ever get to visit Abu Dhabi, which is like what, a couple of hours drive?
Yes,
Yeah,
yes, I
it's
did. Yeah,
beautiful,
it's
right?
straight up the highway. Yes, it's actually quite easy to get there from Dubai, isn't it? So yeah, I did. It's
You and I have a lot of things in common, but we'll get to that. Um, so many things in common, and I feel that me being having experienced a lot of like culture and having lived in different countries really made me who I am as a person right now. And I feel, I hope you feel, I think you feel the same way, that these are the things that make us resilient and like really rich when it comes to our thoughts and our experiences, right?
Absolutely, I think it does, and it also sort of broadens your horizons and the way you think when you see people living in a different culture to yours, and how
Yes,
that works and how that it really is. They say traveling's an education, and it definitely is. Yeah,
I love
it's
it.
quite unique, isn't it? It's yeah.
And if we start, if there's one thing our followers can like take from this, our viewers, if you have the chance, go travel. Go
Oh,
travel. It's such a wonderful
absolutely.
experience.
There's so many places to go, and sort of having been cabin crew as well for many years, it's there's just the world is full of the most amazing places to go, and it's all
That's
there.
my ultimate like dream. Like I want to be a like flight attendant. I don't think I can ever pass because I'm short.
Oh
Because
no,
I love
absolutely, you
traveling.
could.
I love traveling.
Oh, it's amazing. Yeah, it is. I only intended to do that job, that particular job, for a well. I thought I'll do it for 6 months and see the world, and 12 years later, I'm still
Well, you
there.
know what? That's amazing. Thank you for sharing all your experiences in those different countries. More to go. All right, let's start, Liz. Thank you. Let's talk about your inspiration. Because I believe that every great business starts with a spark, an idea, a moment, or a calling that set everything in motion. Now, Liz, what inspired you to step into transformational coaching? And when did you realize that guiding midlife women into confidence and fulfillment was your calling?
Well, it was really more of a process for me. So I've always been interested in psychology, and when I left school, I went to uni to study psychology. I didn't really know what I wanted to do, but
Right.
I thought I'm interested in psychology. I'll study that. And so it's been a theme running through my life for many years. So when I was with the airlines, I trained as a counselor. I was very lucky that they gave me time off to go over to my training, and so I did it alongside my job. And then so I enjoyed the counselling. It was really rewarding, but I did find that I would take away my clients' feelings and go home.
Okay.
I found it very hard to leave that behind. I'd be find myself worrying about them, you know. So
Yeah.
and I decided then I really wanted to look into something far more goal orientated, so I could use all of those skills that I had, but into something looking more towards the future rather than staying in the past. So that's when I started. I actually trained as a life coach in the early 2000s. Meant so it was there weren't many coaches in the UK at that time, And I started coaching women to start their own businesses. So I
Okay.
was supporting that,
Wow.
which was great. Um, and then I took time out to be a mum. I had my daughter, and it wasn't until she got older and I could see the real need for there's this need for help for midlife women. As I became a midlife woman myself, and my peers, my friends around me, I realized that yeah, it was something that I felt passionately about. That it's a almost like a lost generation in a way that is, and there's so many opportunities out there for us that yeah, that's how I arrived where I am now.
It's just amazing how sometimes like we are called to do something that we never thought that we would because of just sometimes like one thing sets that into motion, right? Like it's
Absolutely.
like I believe in our purpose and our path, that sometimes we're just called by whoever our source is, your God, my God, whoever we believe in, into like this is the direction that you're going. And sometimes all we just need to do is like stop and then just follow the path, right? And it pulls you to a direction where you're just simply amazed on like what you can do not only for yourself but for others. And right, and Liz, it kind of
Absolutely.
your story kind of reminds me of when I first felt that pull to build something bigger than myself. So I was young right after college. I thought like this is another commonality that we have, we're both teachers or we both work in schools.
Hmm.
So
Yeah.
right after my university, I maybe like 2 3 years I taught in a regular school until I had another purpose in my life. I opened my schools in the Philippines. I had two branches at the age of like 23,
Oh
when
wow.
when young professionals were starting to like look for their path in life, maybe partying or having fun. I was building my life. I was running a business on my own, from everything, from the building, the structure, from the curriculum, from directing, from training, from marketing. I did it myself at such a young age. And I feel that that experience really taught me a lot of things in life, which is patience and hard work, dedication, failures, which is part of the process. And I
Hmm.
think where I am right now, because right now I'm a keynote speaker, a host, and a podcast host as well. And it all came again, within 2 years. Again, another calling my life.
Mm.
So just like you, everything that we do sets us to do and do something more. And I just want to say thank you for sharing your experience, and maybe to let our viewers know that when you are called to do something, grab it, grab the chance, right?
Absolutely, because sometimes you get that nudge, and if you don't take that nudge, you'll get another one, a bit of a stronger one, I find. Because I feel that if you're really meant to do something, it will come, it will come your way. And yes, I'm a great believer in grabbing those opportunities and and following those nudges in the right direction.
And
Yeah.
sometimes it's not going to be easy. Like there's going to be failures, there's going to be challenges and defeats, but don't give up, because that's how you learn. I feel that we learn from all these things that happen in our life, right? It makes us better individuals, right?
Absolutely. Sometimes the scariest thing can be the right thing that you need to move on to. And it's,
Yes.
failure is part of learning. It's
Yes.
all part of the process. And I think sometimes we get too caught up in, well, if I do this, what if I fail? It doesn't matter. It's all part of, you've learned something, you can move on. It's, I think we need to kind of shift that to one side and
Right.
not worry about that so much.
I didn't even think that I would talk about failure, because just this morning before I started our podcast, while waiting for you, there was just something on my feed that talked about it was a speech and I had to reflect on it. So if you go on my page, it's exactly what you and I are talking about right now. That don't fear failure. It's part of the process, and you win after going through the failure because it helps you become your best self, right? Without failing, that means you never tried. Isn't that such a beautiful thing to realize? That if you've never failed in your life, that means you never tried,
Yeah,
right?
exactly. And exactly, and it builds resilience. And there's so many things that come from the learning from things that don't work out. They're just as important as the things that do.
And I do have many different series in my podcast where I feature 10 guests per series. And I always talk about whatever series, Liz, I ask them about their failures, their successes, and their growth because it's just important for any individual to acknowledge that I'm not perfect. I can fail, but I can grow from it. So there's always a question about your failure because come on, let's be honest, we all go through that. That's part of life. So I like our followers to know that hey, that's part of life. Say she's talking about her failure, then what I'm going through is normal as well. You know what I mean? Right? Not
Yes. Yeah.
everybody goes through like an easy life. It's all a step by step process, right?
I agree. And I think with social media these days, people tend to present a sort of almost a sort of a perfect life, a life where things don't go wrong. And I think things are changing in the right direction where people
Yes.
are actually now they're starting to share the things that didn't go right and the things that they've learned from. And that is really refreshing because it can be quite damaging just sharing those
Right.
parts that have gone well because it creates the wrong perception for other people that are watching it because none of us are perfect. None of us
Right.
get it right all the
Yes.
time. It's just we're human.
And the nice thing that with what you do is your clients are women, people who play such a vital role in our community, and they if they accept like what you said, just the beginning part of our conversation, which is accepting their failure. Just imagine the growth that they can experience when they realize that oh, it's okay. What happened to me yesterday was okay. And I'm going to learn from it. And women are just so important in the family, in the community, in the world that I love how you specifically try to support them and encourage them because we all need it. You know, we all go through, especially the midlife. And I want to hear that
Exactly.
later on as we talk about more about your business, about what you do.
Yeah.
Now, Liz, let's talk about your journey and the challenges. I believe that behind every success story are moments of trial, times when resilience was the only way forward. You've had such a diverse journey from working across continents to supporting emotional resilience in schools before launching your own coaching practice. Liz, what have been some of your biggest challenges along the path? And how did you shape the way you show up for women today?
Yeah, well, yeah, there's certainly been challenges along the way. To start off with, when I was a child, I suffered from obsessive compulsive
Okay.
disorder and into adulthood, chronic anxiety.
Okay.
And so that was something that I didn't, it never got diagnosed. I pretty much kept it to myself. And so it was all going on inside, but nobody actually knew that there was all of this sort of stuff going on. It wasn't till I arrived at university and sat in a lecture about OCD, and I sat there and the penny dropped, and I'm like, "That's me. That's
Oh,
it."
when you were lecturing the topic and you realized
I
you're
was
talking about
sat in
yourself?
the somebody was lecturing me on the
Oh,
topic
somebody
I
else
was
learning.
learning at uni, and then suddenly, and it's like, oh, that's it. That's
Yeah.
And so I developed my own coping strategies. I was very good at burying things, which obviously now I know is uh, not the right thing to do. So that's one of the things I've learned is rather than burying, address it. And there also, in those days, there was probably an element of shame about mental health, whereas now,
Yeah.
thank goodness, people actually talk about it and realize how important it is to talk about it as much as physical health, mental health. They're both intertwined. They both you cannot have one without the
Connected.
other.
Yeah.
It's just, yeah. So there were those challenges when I was working in the Middle East for the airlines. There was this is in the 90s, so women were viewed in a very different way that they are today.
Yeah.
And there was that pressure to look perfect, look a certain way, look polished,
Yes.
with this facade. And that was really, really tricky because it sort of it reduced confidence.
Yeah.
People started you compare amongst each other, and it's funny how since the people that I was working with at the time, that I'm still in contact with, we all say how it made us feel, but at the time we never verbalized how we felt. It, how difficult it was trying to um, live up to these ideals, which are just not the norm. And it just kind of, there was no room for individuality, and that has been um, something that I feel really passionate about in
Yes.
the work that I do. How each person, but each woman that I work with is an individual, and
Yes.
and that is so important to step into that and be proud of it too.
Right. Well, that's one thing that you and I really focus on when it comes to our the thing that we do. Because like what I shared with you, I'm a host. I have my own live show. I talk about, I have my own podcast. I'm on social media, multiple social media, almost every day. I show up. And when I first started as a keynote speaker and hosting, I was so scared to be myself. Because just like what you said, we have this notion of women being perfect, looking like a model and stuff like that. Even when I speak, because I'm not a native English speaker, although I've lived here in the States for 25 years. I was born and I grew up in the Philippines. So I do have this accent. I do have the way I pronounce things. That was my biggest fear as a speaker. And when I finally let go of that fear and accepted who I am as a person and realized that, hey, people are listening to me not because of the way I sound, the way I pronounce it, it's my content, to what I share with them. And then that's when I woke up and told myself, I'm going to be the most authentic me. I'm going to show up the way I am, not change anything, because I have reached my point, Liz, wherein I started to love myself. I went through so many challenges in my life, lost my husband 2 years ago. And, being a widow made me realize a lot of things that I can't do. I can't be there for my kids 100% or for my work if I don't love myself. You know what I mean? So within the 2 years of this career change, being in the field of education for 30 years, I had this career change. All I did, Liz, was really self love. I learned to embrace who I am, my imperfections. I'm not perfect. It could be like whatever facial issues I have, my height, my diction, I don't care. I love myself, and I think I've earned some respect from my followers, from my viewers, by simply being me. They watch me, they see me, they look up to me, they're here to support me because of who I am. And I love how you are supporting women. Just like what you said, be authentic, be yourself. And that's big.
Authentic, exactly. And it's really interesting because when women do step into their authenticity, they've become magnetic.
Yes.
It's incredible, when you are able to just be
Yes.
you, and as you say, learn to love the way that
Yes.
you are and the person that you are. And that's when you're also most able to help other people. It really is, and it took me many years to get there.
But
It
you're
did,
here
but
now.
I am here now, and nothing. Oh, it's just incredible when I can see, I can help other women to do the same, and to step into that authenticity and be really happy in their own skin. It is incredible because there's just so many so much cultural conditioning that women have
Yes.
been through. That, as we've said, to look a certain way, be a certain way. Uh, and it's not just in the way we look, but personality. And women, women should not um, sort of be forceful, or women should not be, they should not put their views forward. And this is things. It's starting to unravel, but there's still a lot
Yes.
there. And to be feminine it's changing. Being feminine is actually being authentically you
Right.
and
Yes.
proud to be the person that you are. And so yes, it really does. I feel very strongly about the fact that I can help women to step into that.
And I try, so I live in Tampa, which is a really big city here in Florida. And I'm
Yeah.
part of like the women entrepreneurs here and also women without businesses here. And there's really one thing I realized that we all have something in common. We may be at a different point in our lives, but really we want change, we want growth, and women nowadays know that they want bigger things in life. And if it takes stepping out of their comfort zone, or if it takes just accepting who they are, accepting their faults and mistakes, and embracing themselves, I think more and more women are learning what it is to find their genuine self. And you know what's helping this? You and I, speakers, coaches, podcasts. Nowadays, you don't have to go to a doctor to like and really get a diagnosis or like have somebody talk to. Just open a podcast, find somebody you can relate with, or find a coach that you can connect with and support you. And sometimes when you feel like you're at the edge, like you don't know what to do anymore. I hope women will know that they can ask for help. You don't have to do things on your own. You can reach a turning point in your life wherein you get into it and you lose yourself. Know that, ask for help. Like some people can do it on their own, but if you can't, don't be ashamed to ask for help. Asking help could be joining a Facebook group or looking for a coach or going out in the community to find connection. And that's one thing I want to share with women. Ask for help. You know what I mean? There's always going to be people.
There's always help out there. And I think that's another thing that women traditionally haven't done. They believe that they've got to do it all and they've got to be the backbone and they've got to, manage to do it all by themselves. When in actual fact, know that there is so much help out there. And if you start to look outside your sort of circle and look for some kind of connection and help, that will help not only you, but it's going to help the people around you, your family, your friend, your business, even.
Yes.
It just ricochets out
Yes.
if you can find that connection and get that help for yourself too. It's out there, and
Yeah.
it's there's so much now available. Um, that yeah, absolutely.
And there are some people who might be difficult for them to ask for help. Like what I did when I lost my husband for a year, Liz, I didn't go to work. I really just tried to heal on my own. And that's when I stepped out of my comfort zone and had a career change where I found myself. And that for me was my way to heal. Not everybody might do it the same I did, but me was going inward, like really reflecting on who I am as a person. Who am I before all the defining moments in my life, who I was as a child, like what made me happy when I was a child. And I try to bring it back to who I am right now. Look, I'm 54. I'm having the best time of my life. I think I'm past midlife, but like what you said, people go through that 50. Life for me started at the age of 50. And like I said, I'm happy. If you find me on social media, I'm dancing, I'm singing, I'm doing stuff because I feel that what makes you happy, do it as long as you're not hurting others, because I want people to realize that you might have a tough day today, or your work is not right, like the best job, but you can still have fun. You can still find joy. If your joy is singing, dancing, cooking, do it. As long as you're not hurting other people, find yourself. Like, don't please others. Don't do things just to please others. You come first. And that's how my mindset is now. Like,
Yes.
me first, and then others will follow.
It's interesting. Yeah, that's so true. And one thing that you said there about finding the things that you used to enjoy when you were a child.
Yes.
Because when we leave childhood, we very often leave that fun side behind.
Yes.
And and we get so caught up in the responsibilities and the pressures of adulthood that that side just gets squashed, and it's so so important. So
Yes.
that's something I often do with my clients, is get them to really think about what did they love to do when they were children, because that is gives you the key into how you're going to have fun now and what you need to reconnect with. It may not be the same thing, but it might be something related to that and leading to something slightly different. But that's quite a fun exercise to do in itself.
And I have this live show every Tuesday, and I talk about love, right? Loving yourself, inspiring others, and global compassion. There was one episode that I want to share with you. One episode I called Mirror Talk. Talk to them like it's like looking at yourself in the mirror and just enjoying loving yourself as you look at yourself in the mirror. And it doesn't have to be a physical mirror, just waking up every day and just being grateful of what you have, of who you are, and living at the present moment. You know what I mean? You can still have big dreams in your life, but never ever forget your present moment. Enjoy what you're doing at the moment. If you're cooking at the moment, enjoy what you're doing. Stop rushing things. You know what I mean? And gratitude. I wake up, Liz, just being grateful for waking up, grateful for my God, grateful for what I have, what I don't have. And I try not to be bitter. If things don't work out my way, Liz, I've learned to like let it go. You know what I mean? Do I
Yes.
get hurt? I still get hurt because I still have feelings, but I've learned not to like let that fear or pain or hurt control me. Like I canceled our podcast because my mom passed away. It's only been 2 weeks, but I use that grief and loss to fuel me more. You know what I mean?
Mm,
It doesn't
yeah.
mean I don't cry. Last night I was doing a video for my family about my mom, and I just found myself like just crying and crying. You know what I mean? It doesn't mean you're over the grief, but find ways to just make you stronger. You know what I mean? And don't let
Yeah.
it like affect your life in a bad way. So
Yeah,
that's
absolutely. I think, when you are going through these times in life that are really difficult, it's important to feel those emotions. And just rather than being afraid of them, just like you did, sort of
yes.
just let it out. It's so important. But yes, you can also use that to sort of fuel yourself further forward. But yeah, it's mindfulness in particular, so as you were saying about being in the present,
Yes.
is very close to my heart, because that is one of the things that really started to heal me when I first started working on myself. Mindfulness is just incredible in bringing you back to the moment, realizing that actually right now in this moment, what problems do I actually have? Yes,
Yes.
there might be this coming up and that coming up and this that may never even happen and probably won't even happen. So, but what about right now? Really enjoying that moment is so important.
Love it. I love how you and I are connecting when it comes to what we think is, and sometimes what we share with the women that we speak with. I'm talking me. I'm not just. I talk. My followers are diverse, and it's not really women. It's everywhere. It's just really our life experiences. Like I know you mentioned that when you learned about, you were listening to a lecture, and you started to realize that hey, that's me. Like I feel like sometimes the best advice or suggestion or coaching that we do to others is something that came from us, our real life experience, because it's authentic, it's you actually went through it, so you are the best person um to give advice because you actually went through it, right? Like
Mm.
imagine a coach coaching something that she never really went through. You know what I mean?
Yes, I think I definitely feel that experience helps. Having had those experiences, it's really important because you can draw on your own experiences. And that said, your experiences, you may go through the same thing, but experience it very differently to the next
Yes.
person. But
Yes.
it's still, it really helps to sort of draw on how you managed to overcome that, how you dealt with it. And even if you dealt with it in a way that wasn't very productive, that's also
Yes.
great learning. And this is the thing with midlife women, is that's what they've got. They've got
Yes.
experience. They have this treasure trove of experience that which gives them so much to offer the world. And I think it's just changing the paradigm to looking at midlife women in that way, rather than, oh,
Yeah.
this is before, it's just the bit before I get old kind of thing. No, it's not. There's so much richness to you at this age.
So you talk about midlife, right? When I started this change in me, I was entering my 50, like the 50 age, and I think that's midlife, right? And like some people would probably think at this stage in their life we're in, oh my God, like just being negative and like just thinking about their failures and defeats. But change your mindset, right? Use this to like, wow, I am 50 now, guess what, I want change, I want to do this now, I'm gonna forget about this. And you know what, people, I hope people will understand that it's never too late. It's
No,
never too late to have a change in your life. I told you when I reached 50, yes, I did have a defining moment which kind of triggered my change, but at the same time, I want everybody to know it's the best stage in my life when I can actually do something new and be myself. And I'm actually rewriting the chapters in my life. It's like a book. I'm the author of my book now, and I can do whatever I want because I don't want to look back in my life list and say, I wasted my life and didn't do anything special and meaningful. So I love that you're really specifically helping that midlife stage in women because it is crucial. It's crucial, and it's up to them to make it or break it, right?
absolutely, it is. I totally agree. And, one of the things that fueled my own transformation as well was getting to, I thought about, what about when I get to old age and I know that I'm at the end of my life and I look back, and if I hadn't done the scary, the hard, stretchy stuff, how would I feel in that moment? And to me, feeling regret in that way is far worse than jumping into these
Yes,
scary things and these stretchy
yes.
things. That to me would be
Worse.
worse. Yeah.
I love that. I love that. All right, now what let's now I want to learn more about your business and its impact. Cuz Liz, I believe that a business is more than a product or service. It's a force that can shape lives and communities. Liz, can you share what your coaching work is really about and how you've seen it make a difference in the lives of the women that you serve?
Yeah, so I do feel so, as I've mentioned already, I feel very strongly about the fact that when we get to midlife, traditionally, it's always been viewed as it's that period just before you get old. It's too late to change now. Maybe you had these thoughts in your 20s about how your life was going to pan out, and it just hasn't panned out that way.
Yes.
And then you see, a lot of women will have taken a step back in their career because of they've brought up children, whether they've
Mhm.
carried on working or not. Often they've stepped back and maybe not where they would have been had they not sort of taken that sort of little recess. So it's about understanding that women these days are spending 10 to 20 years longer in midlife than previous generations because our lifespan is longer. But we're also, in our generation, we have far more opportunities open to us than previous generations. So
Yes.
we can't look to previous generations to write our lives because ours are very different to that. And I think we've also got a responsibility to show that the girls that are now in their 20s, what they can be thinking of, what they can be doing when they're in their midlife. And if they want to rewrite it, everything and start from scratch, they can. And
Yes.
so it's a responsibility, I feel. I have a daughter who's 18, and I want,
Same.
oh, right. Yeah. So
Yeah.
I feel I want her to see that,
Yes.
yeah, well, mum did that. So,
Yes.
and I've seen this woman and this woman and this woman do that. So absolutely I can do that. That's what I can expect. So that really, I feel it's not, as you quite rightly say, it's not just having a business or doing a job. I feel like it's a movement.
Yes,
And
it is a movement. I love that. I love what you said that. So, do you support them virtually? Like, talk about more of like how do you like how can they find like you know what I mean? Like, are they coach? Are you coaching worldwide? Do you support them virtually? Do you also see them in person?
all of those things. So
Okay.
I see women all over the world, because now
Mm-hmm.
we can do that virtually, and it's just as effective.
Mm-hmm.
So I do that. I run periodically. I run online workshops. So I'm just about to start running one for midlife women whose kids have just left for university.
Yeah.
Because I am experiencing that myself. So I think it's great for me to be embracing this, everything that I'm sort of teaching in the workshop as well. So I do that. And I also see, if clients are geographically close to me, then I also see them in person as well. And I do
Okay.
local events. I do events as
Okay.
well. But yeah, so it's a mixture of all, really. I think we're so lucky these days that we can actually do that, and we can have global reach with our
Yes.
businesses and
Yes.
help women everywhere, which, yeah, is, again, something previous generations didn't have.
Yeah. And whether wherever you are in this world, it doesn't matter. We're all the same, right? We may be different in a lot of ways, but then the essence of being a woman, what our needs, what we want to achieve, it's really the same, right? Wherever you are in the world. That's one thing I believe. It's across, it doesn't matter what your culture is, what your language is, what your race is. You are a like you are who you are, like you're built to be like what I mean, like we have our common things. That's why it's nice to get coaching or suggestion from somebody who's not in your country, because what I mean, sometimes you get to do some things that it's your usual practice in where you live, and then it's nice to hear others perspective that might work, and you were like so closed off because you were not exposed to that kind of mentality or thinking. Sometimes it helps that global um the global thing that we all share,
Yeah,
I mean, the
absolutely.
commonality.
There is a
Right.
commonality, but Candy, since I've been through my traveling and through doing this work, it really does strike me. People very concentrate a lot on the differences between people in different countries. It strikes me how
Oh,
similar we all are. And
yes.
the more I do this work with people all over the world, I realise, yeah, we have more things in common
I
than things that
know.
we're not. Yeah, it's absolutely we do. And as you say, we can also learn from other people's viewpoints and other people's way of seeing things as well, which is, yeah, I do think that there's magic in that.
Well, that's the reason why initially we share that if you get the chance to travel, not just for the purpose of traveling, to really experience life, that your life is not just where you are at the moment, not in your house, in your workplace, in your community. Sometimes you need to just, I mean, if you can't physically go to Europe or go to wherever, there's the internet. You know what I
Yes,
mean? Get to know other
yes,
people culture, and don't think you're better. Please, this is one thing that I've been talking about in my love show. No one is better than anyone. I don't care where you are, who you are, what your status is in life, what country you are not better than anyone. We are all equal. If everybody is given equal chance in life, they're going to be as powerful as you are, as rich as you are, as smart as you are, because of the opportunities.
yes.
So I love kindness. That's why I talk
Oh,
about
yeah.
my love show. I just global compassion. please get out of your mindset of just you. There's
Yes,
life out there.
we do. We absolutely we do. And I think there's in sort of we're all equal, and I feel that if we're embracing other people's cultures and other people's viewpoints, we're stronger together. We are, you
Yes.
know, and if we work collaboratively, we are, well, particularly when women work collaboratively, I've noticed such a difference. It's just seeing things in a different way, and I do
Yes.
feel that this separation is closing. I do feel a movement now towards
I hope
people.
so.
I
I
really
hope so.
do. Yeah, I'm hopeful. I think I have an optimism for how
It
things are.
depends where you are in the world, I guess. You know
Yes,
what I mean?
it does.
Because
It does. And
that's
your
why
own personal experience as well.
I opened this podcast, and I hope it's I like my goal is to have it seen worldwide, my love show to be seen worldwide, because like really it's so beautiful. The world is so beautiful. Why are you looking like what you said? Don't look at everybody's differences. Look at how you can unite and just be one, because we're all the same. No, I mean, no matter like what you said, right? We all have the right to exist, to feel love, to be successful. And like I don't know, it hurts me when people are mean, when people are
Hmm.
unkind, when people are racist, discriminatory. It hurts me. you
Mm,
know you know
yes. Yeah.
that's why I do this. That's why I do what I do.
Good. And I think the work that you do is incredible. I think it's so important. And the more people that do now will build those building blocks for the future.
And look at me. I'm from the Philippines, a third world country, but I am spreading my reach global. So my point is just give people chance to succeed, they will. You know what I mean? Like it doesn't matter where you are or where you came from. If you work hard, you can be successful. You know what I mean? You can have an impact. Not to, that's my thing. You can inspire and have an impact. So don't bring people down. You know what I mean? Don't
Yeah.
bring people down. And those
Yeah.
are the things that affects women. It's those differences, those unacceptance, those things that they're being looked down. Those are the things that women carry. That's why, sometimes they have this mental illness that you said, because of the expectations of society and the world, right? So if we can just simply learn to have love, acceptance, and kindness, just imagine how your women can feel better, men can feel better. You know what I mean? Just be kind. Be
Oh,
kind.
totally. And I do think, particularly in Western culture, women have been pitted against each other. It's traditionally been sort of that suspicion of other women in the past. And I feel that, well, I see it, that when in women come together and start working in business together, collaborating, there is something really, really special about that. It's
Yeah.
they're wise, they're strong, but they also collaborate in a way that doesn't have that alpha sort of aggression. They collaborate in a
Yes.
way that is really it's quite unique. And I love collaborating with other
Me
coaches.
too.
And it's just it's something that I really enjoy, working with people that do what I do as well, because we have to leave behind this viewpoint of oh, well, if this person's got the work, then there's not enough for me. No, no, that's
No,
not true at all.
no.
It's if somebody else is doing this, well, I can do that too, and we can do it together. And that I love. And
Yes.
particularly, I think we're lucky as well, because in the coaching world, I see so much collaboration. And so it's such a friendly,
That's
well, it's a
good.
worldwide community, um, which I feel very happy to be part of.
Yeah, and if your coaching techniques is coming from your heart, your experiences, your skills, and what you really went through in life, that makes you unique. So that means no coach is the same. Like every
Mm,
coach is different then. Just the same as every speaker is different, because I really focus on authenticity, self-love and intentionality. Everyone is different and we all have something to bring. So I am not here to compete with any other keynote speakers or podcasters, because I am me. I have my own set of skills, my own set of experiences that makes me and my podcast what it is and who I am, right? So it's never a competition. I never see things as a competition. You know what I mean? It's
no,
just collaboration. I like what you said. Connection and collaboration. You
so
know?
important.
Yeah.
Yes.
So let's talk about the unique edge and your future vision. So, Liz, the leaders who stand out often see the world and the future differently. Now, I know you shared a lot of things about your approach, but maybe you just want to add what makes you or your approach, your coaching unique, and how do you see your work impacting the community and the world?
Well, I work as a coach, as you know, but also incorporating positive psychology techniques in my with my clients. But the thing that really makes my work different is that I do subconscious reprogramming,
Mhm.
because I feel that, well, as you know, that the subconscious runs 95% of how we think, feel, and act. So I feel
I
that if
didn't
we
know
don't,
that. Thank you for letting me know.
right, okay,
So
so
meaning
yeah,
your subconscious is like that much? 95. Wow.
mm. So if
And
we
the other part is like something that you're consciously aware that you're doing, correct? Wow.
exactly.
Okay.
So
Thank
we
you.
can consciously think, I want to change this. But unless we address the subconscious, we're not going to find consistent change. So what I do is I go in with my clients and we identify about 50 or 60 beliefs that they've got about themselves or the world around them, that which are really not helpful. And then we look at the root cause of those and we change them at a subconscious level. So that's what I start with my New Life Midlife program. I start off by the first few weeks is just changing those subconscious beliefs into something far more powerful. um, and then once we've done that, change is easy, because I find
Uh-huh.
that my clients are starting to act, feel, and think differently. And then we go into coaching and positive psychology techniques. So we've got this new mindset now. What are we going to do with it? And that's when all the exciting stuff happens after that. So um, I feel that more and more people are using subconscious reprogramming now, which I think is fantastic, because it's a great tool for change. And I have had some clients come to me that have tried counselling, psychotherapy, medication, and nothing has worked until they've started doing the subconscious reprogramming, the inner child work, all of those things. So
Yeah.
it's really getting to the root cause. So whenever we have a belief, any kind of limiting belief, whether it's I can't speak in public or whatever it is, it comes back to some point of trauma. And
Yes.
it's about addressing what that point of trauma was. So in
Okay.
that case, where somebody maybe can't speak up in meetings at work, it may go back to a memory where this person was
Yes.
a child in the classroom and they were told off for talking. And that's formed a subconscious belief that it's not safe to talk in
Yes.
a group setting. So it, it can be as simple as that. So it's about getting to that root cause, changing it, changing the core beliefs, and then moving forward.
I did heard something similar to that. It's not exactly the same. I had a series called I forgot the name of the series because I had so many series. It's about childhood trauma. Like how are you
Mhm.
gonna use your traumas in life to move you forward, or how is that trauma affecting you to stay behind, right? And I know it was mentioned how sometimes we just need a reboot in our life, which is like what you said, rewiring of the subconscious, because um part of my podcast is intentionality. I also believe that when you are intentional and purposeful with your actions, with the way you view your life, the way you act, the way you move, sometimes that that subconscious that keeps affecting your life even if you don't want it, you can kind of like make it intentional and kind of like switch it to make it meaningful and useful for you by being intentional. You know what I mean? So
Yes.
that's how I see it when it comes to my podcast channel. Be intentional with what you do in order for you to rewire that subconscious thinking and
Mhm.
make that subconscious more conscious, so that you know what to expect. You can kind of have that change and growth that you want to, and also that you're not stuck with your childhood trauma, because we all have traumas in our life. We
Of
all know
course.
that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So
Yeah.
mine is through intentionality, and I feel that being conscious of your subconscious by being intentional helps. I love that.
Definitely. Also being self-aware, starting to question, okay, so where did that come from? And sort of, if because one thing we tend to realize, we think that our beliefs are fact about the world around us. In actual fact, the next person has completely different beliefs, and so
Yes.
their world looks very different. So it's why one person might find one situation uncomfortable and somebody else doesn't. It's about realizing that actually what we're thinking is not fact. It's just our filters that we've got on the world around us.
Right, right. Wow, I love that. I love that. And if you get stuck so much in the past because you keep allowing, because like think about, if you're not conscious, if you allow your subconscious to always, it's gonna be triggering you. It's always gonna trigger
Mm.
you with your deep wounds, or your wounds, your childhood memories that are not so positive. So if you don't rewire that, or you don't kind of change it, you're always gonna be like guilty or hurt or negative or defensive, right? So
Yes.
where can you grow? How can you grow if you keep getting stuck with allowing your subconscious to run your life? Oh my god, that is I'm not even a coach. I love that. Thank you. I love
Yeah.
that.
Yeah, it's just, and a lot of it is just being curious with it as well, not
Yeah.
judging it. So, okay, so that triggers me. And when somebody does that, it makes me really angry. Why is that? Okay, well,
Yeah.
so let me really just be open and honest with yourself about it and start thinking, okay, I'm curious,
Yes.
but without beating yourself up, because that's another thing that people, oh, I feel guilty. I got so angry in that situation. Just be curious, but not guilty.
And honestly, if there's always going to be triggers, it's always going to come back. Those memories can come back, and use it to become stronger. Like, you know what I mean? Oh, yeah, I did this. Okay. And I passed this. You know what I mean? Don't let it like, oh my God, and I'm remembering it again. And then you're going to get stuck again in your bed and cry for 3 days. No. All right. Because memories will come back. They're still part of you. Just face it head on, or just move on. It's just a memory. It doesn't mean you have to relive it. Keep reliving it, right? And don't
Yeah.
use it. Here's the one thing also I noticed with some people who have not reached their, I don't want to say it. Some people have not reached their authenticity or higher self. They keep using their wounds, their trauma, their childhood like mistakes as an excuse to grow, and people
Yeah.
need to stop doing that. I'm sorry. Oh, because when I was a child. Nah, I'm sorry. I
You
mean,
do have that opportunity to change it. There's one thing that we as humans have is innate ability to adapt and change. We are quite
yes.
remarkable beings. Our brain is incredible. So there is all of that. I think it's about getting a happy balance, because when you do have these
Mhm.
memories, it's about having an element of self-compassion. How would
Yes,
I
I love
view
that.
someone else that had gone through that? But at the
Right.
same time, don't let it define you. And
No, love that. I love that.
it's getting that fine line. Yeah.
Yes. I love that. Don't let it define you. Make it like resilience. It's based from how you overcame this and made it part of you. A resilient
Mm.
person for me is someone who went through all these challenges in life, all these trauma, and made it them. You know what I mean? And made them
Yeah.
stronger. You know what I mean? And
Yeah.
I love that. Don't let it define you. Make it fuel you. Let it fuel you to become your best self, right?
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Liz, every leader, I always ask this question to every guest, either in my hosting or my podcasting, because I believe that every leader carries, or every person carries, a piece of wisdom that can inspire others on their own journey. Liz, if you could leave our audience with one powerful message about embracing anything, it could be embracing midlife or stepping into their full potential or anything, like they will remember Liz Murray said this, what would that be?
Oh, I would love to, if I can help change those paradigms around the midlife and the way women see that, okay, they start to understand it's not too late. You know, that all of these things, it's too late now. I can't change now. I've always been the same. All of
Yes.
those things, understanding that actually, no, it's not too late. It's never too late. It doesn't matter. You can make those changes. It is possible. I've had clients that sit in front of me, whether that's on the screen or in person, and don't think that they can be helped. You can. Um, absolutely. And it's about people realizing, I would like us all, well, globally, to understand that midlife is not the end, it's the beginning.
I
And
love
there are so many opportunities out there for, particularly for women. I'm saying that for men as well, but I'm saying for women because that's who I help, and that's who often feel like they've been the lost generation and that they've been sidelined in society.
Oh my God, that is so inspiring. I think our listeners really needed that reminder today, Liz, that no matter where they are, midlife is not the end of the story, just like what you said, but the beginning of something new and powerful. And if they need an example, look at me. I'm a
Yes.
very changed person from 2 years ago. Do not wait for a defining moment to find your worth, to find your value. It took losing my husband for me to find my worth, to find what I'm good at. And I never realized that my potential is endless, like, and limitless, that I can do what I thought I couldn't do, like speaking in a large platform with multiple like shows and global reach. I never thought I would do this. And just loving who I am, my
Yes.
imperfections, loving who I am and showing up as genuine me. Just take it from me and Lynn, who went through these change in our lives, and know that it's not over. Midlife is just, say it with me, it's just the beginning of my life. And it's
Is.
endless. I can be who I want to be.
I
And
love
that's what
that.
I do.
Absolutely.
That's
Yeah.
why I show up every day on social media. If I don't show up, it's because I'm sick. All right. But other than that, I show up just letting them know, hey, life is so good. Be who you want to be, and don't let other people make you uh pull you bring you down. You know what I mean? You can overcome anything you want if you just let go of, like, things, like, things are not always going to be okay, that things are not always going to be perfect, but that's okay. Learn from it, right?
Yeah. It's okay not to be okay too.
Yes,
It's
I
just,
love that.
yeah, yeah. You learn from that, and that is, yeah, it's, and it's just about understanding that and having that self-reflection, and okay, this isn't, and just exploring, start questioning, exploring, being curious, because this is where you start to have those sparks of, oh, maybe I could do that, or maybe, and understanding that there, it's there for the taking.
And you did say something this earlier in the podcast about being magnetic. When you something like, when you know your worth, or I maybe that's what you said, but this is also what I believe, that when you love yourself and you know your value and your worth, you simply become magnetic. And you know what I mean? You just don't think about yourself anymore. Whatever you do, it inspires others. So you know what I mean? Like, and find a way to inspire others in your own family, in your own community, in your own workplace. You know what I mean? Shine for others. You know what I mean? That's what
It
I I,
absolutely,
I want to do.
yeah. It's so important to know that and not make yourself small for other people. Because
Yes.
again, that's a thing that a lot of women do. They feel like they receive a compliment and they feel they've got to bat it back or whatever.
Yeah.
No, if you get a compliment, accept it and
Yeah.
thank the
Say thank
person
you.
for it. Don't make yourself small, because you're not doing other women a good service by doing that, by actually owning your worth.
Love
And
it.
as you say, being magnetic, you're not just helping yourself, you're helping the women around you too.
Liz, before we close, I just want you to know that this is one of my favorite podcasts. I learned so much from you. I feel like I've known you for a long time. Our conversation just kept flowing and just so meaningful and relevant, especially how the women nowadays might be feeling or going through at the moment, because it's real. Midlife crisis is real, but know that change is also a possibility, right?
Yes,
And Liz,
absolutely. Yes.
and yeah,
Sorry. Yeah, I just wanted to say it's been an
go.
absolute pleasure to be. Thank you so much. I've really enjoyed our conversation.
I know. Liz, before we close, how can our audience connect with you and learn more about your work? How can they find you? You have a website
So
or your social media handles?
I have a website, lizmurraycoaching.com. I'm also on LinkedIn as Liz Murray, and I'm on Facebook as Liz Murray, but also Instagram _Liz_Murray.
And then, as I share this podcast, when I introduce you, I'm going to reach out to you later after this just to give me all the links so that when I share this in multiple social media, they can actually connect with you. Okay.
Perfect. Thank you. Yes.
And Liz, I just want to say thank you for being with us today and for sharing your story and your wisdom. Your journey is such a reminder that true leadership isn't about positions or titles. It's about resilience, purpose, and the courage to impact lives. Again, I want to say thank you,
And
Liz.
thank you too.
And to our audience, thank you for tuning in to this episode of the Intentional Excellence Podcast. And if you'd like to stay connected with me, my website is www.candiceruggiero, and all my social media. I have a lot. It's linktree/Candice Ruggiero. And this has been another episode of Built to Build, the CEO series, and I'm your host, Candice Ruggiero. Until the next time, live with intention, lead with authenticity, and always pursue intentional excellence. Have a good day, Liz, and have a good day, everyone. Take care. Bye bye.
Thank you. Bye bye.